Hello, good evening. My name is Kwabena. I want to talk to you about elevate, be a positive person. A lot of us, the way we were cultured to be careful, were cultured to be reserved, were cultured not to risk, were cultured to deal with negativity and the fear as a way of approaching life. And so even in the class, the guy who had the note that the lecturer had given, you see that they keep it, or they kept it to themselves. Or the one who went to the library and the book was one, and that was the book that had been recommended, you see that they will go and hide it somewhere. For me, that is a negative force. That is a force that makes people not to wish others to succeed beyond them. And that is the force that people carry even to the workplace. Somebody is working in a particular place. They can pull a lot of forces for the business to succeed, for the company to work, but they just work barely. And so if a company has a lot of these kind of people who are less positive but more negative, you see that not much goes in that company. And so I am talking about having the outlook of life where you are ready to do things to help people, for a cause that is beyond you. A lot of people do things that you see commitment only at a point where they will benefit. If it's not something that will benefit them, you don't see them approach. And for me, that stems from fear. That stems from pessimism. That stems from negative outlook of life. And yet, when you talk about entrepreneurship, when you talk about people achieving their goals, they call for some level of uncertainty. And when there is an element of uncertainty, then you need some bit of courage. You need some bit of positive outlook, some bit of optimism for you to dare to even try anything. And that is really what entrepreneurship is about. It's about being optimist, to take a risk. So if your personal disposition is more of is only about me, if I'm not involved, then you don't see any energy from me, you don't see any commitment from me. One way or the other, you are programming yourself just to be average, not to dare. You will not be the kind of person who will be able to do anything beyond the norm, because you will not attract people. People get attracted to people who are of positive energy, of positive outlook of life, because everybody wants the other person who can push them. So if you only show up because it will benefit you, then it gets to a point where you don't get a lot of people who are very clean and clear-hearted to be part of you. So my name is Kwabena. I am talking about be a positive person, have a positive outlook of life. You should be the kind of person that when your friend hears any good news, you are the one that they are calling to tell. Where they are very certain that this my friend will cover anything for me. That those quality people are the people who get things done. Those are the people that people get close to. So the fear of not succeeding or not becoming successful is at the bottom of people who are very pessimistic and fearful of life. They seem to compare themselves with some other people, and they don't develop that inner quality, the person that is able to bond, to help people willingly, to contribute to something. If you look at it, when you started whatever you started, anything significant that you started in your life, whether maybe you were building your house, whether something that was that much dear to your house, to your heart, or maybe you were building a business, you see that the people that you so thought that they would be there for you and cover you, at a point they didn't even care. They were not even Because why? Because it just was something that for you. But you will get people who are of quality spirit, who are of positive, who are selfless. Those are the people who just jump in and contribute. And sometimes they don't even have anything to gain. But the fact that they have different way of looking at life. They are able to put themselves off and push somebody. For me, those are the people that you see trying to do anything significant in this life. Those who are very petty and just only show up because, there are people who only show up when the money is being shared. They never show up when the work is being done. Those kind of people, you see them always trailing. And if you see them do anything significant, go and check. It could be cheating. That is the fact of life. Why? Because the positivity is what draws quality people to you. And nothing is achieved unless there is commitment beyond yourself, where you get some people to come in. And people will hardly not come in over the long haul if you spill out just negative. You don't even see any good thing in people. You don't see any good side of people. You are always looking at that which is not good. And the bottom line of it is self-doubt. There's no self-identification, and so it spills out in jealousy, in comparison, in all kind of forces. And so when you see in cultures where people barely take risk, it means that thing is at the bottom of it. Negativity. People approach life with the negative thinking. They go to work with negative. They are looking for that which will not work. So even when you are pushing them, it's very tough for you to get them to see the results. So if you're going to be anything, you have to lift yourself beyond the negativity, beyond the way you look at things. You should be able to look at things beyond yourself. You should be able to commit to something that you are not even part of. So be a positive person, be optimistic, practice optimism. You will only appear successful if you don't practice these things, unless you're cheating and lying. And that's what commonly happens. You can, when you get close to people and you see the quality of their spirit, the quality of your energy, and you see their success level, it's likely you will see that this man is not being clear. Why? Because you don't see positivity. And so the negative force is what creates fear, is what creates lack of commitment, is what creates selfish atmosphere. And nothing significant is ever achieved by any group of people when each one of them is only looking for what isn't for them. And that is what creates competition. That's what creates jealousy. That's what creates my friend has bought a house, I have to buy a house by all means. Those kind of things, because they never relax to even celebrate the achievement of another person. And that is a proof that you're a person who is full of fear, who is full of negativity, who is full of wrong outlook of life. And so these are not the people who achieve much beyond the norm that we see. They live the social script. But those who dare, when you get close to them, you see that they have that heart to give. They have that heart to be positive. They have that heart to encourage you, even if they will not have anything. You are there and your friend calls you in an area that you failed. And now you have a better understanding of that area. And your friend wants to start something in that area. What kind of person are you? Will you be ready to give that information to that person for that person to succeed? Or you will say that no, if I try and I didn't succeed and he wants to try, he should go and learn himself. That is a bad energy. That is an energy that does not achieve much in life. And that is what a lot of people know. A lot of people know that. Never blame anything or anybody for your problems or for your problems or your life. Never. The moment you can understand life from the optimistic point of view, and that's what the Christians will even call faith. When you look at life with the intention that whatever that has happened will turn out to be for your good. That kind of thinking. If you have that kind of thinking, then when your friend calls you to say that, listen, I heard that you did this thing and it didn't work, but I'm going to do this way. Can you help me? You give them the right information for them to go and succeed. Why? Because you have quality personality. You are not failing because your friend is succeeding. These are the people who succeed. These are the people who achieve anything. These are the people who you see, they have light spirit. So they have the ability to go, to have speed, to have accuracy. Why? Because they are not clouded with self. And so you can only do something when you can only be positive when you're conscious. It's a conscious construction of mind to be positive and to look at the positive side of things, for the positive side of life, the positive things in people. It's a deliberate construction. You know, it's a conscious effort. You don't just do it, because our natural inclination is just to be myself. And so if it hurts me, then I must as well hurt you, or you must as well get that hurt. You know, I'm not the one going to help you to jump that hurt. Those kind of people don't achieve that much. Why? Because it's a child play for you to just have a negative outlook on your life. You know, so people, your friends could be building houses, buying cars, building successful businesses, and you may have tried and you didn't win. You didn't succeed. If you have that kind of negative attitude, you will be very disturbed that your friends are succeeding and you are not. And that's why impatience comes excessing. You know, that people become very impatient and they feel like they are being late in this life. Why? Because they have not built that positive energy in them. They have not built that positive outlook of life. You know, so people like that are always vulnerable. You know, and they seem to blame the family, they blame the government, they blame people around them whenever they have something that they think is not going on well with them. You know, but the positive person is not blaming anybody, because they have matured to see the benefit of what they tried and that which did not work. So you decide to be positive in life, to be positive, to look at things from a positive point. If you look at things from a positive point, you can achieve something more than the one who is always looking at why it will not work. And so people who are able to start anything and do anything, especially when it comes to business, are people who have that way of looking at why this thing will work, and that's why they try anything in the first place. You see, the fear, the risk is exaggerated when you have negative force, when you just look at negative of everything. If you have that kind of personality, you are not the one to start a business, because you will not even have the strength to start. Why? Because you're always looking at why it will not work, why it will not work, why it will not work, why your friends are going forward, why you are late, why they tried and it worked for them and you tried and it did not work for them. You know, so you can only take the risk, you can only dare when you have that strength. And negativity is not strength. It's not strength. It's a bad strength. It's negative. You know, so if you see positive people, they are full of joy. They are ready to help people. They compliment people. They give their energy wherever they are. It may not be them that are benefiting, but you see commitment from them. You see commitment. They can be your first employee or the 20th employee. When they show up, you see light. You see that there is energy. People are smiling. People are happy. Why? Because they have that kind of selfless force around them. And there are other ones who can be around for 10 years. Always when they show up, all their lights go off, you know, because they are never committed to push anything. The only time that you see them aggressive and committed to anything is when it's only about them. It's only about them. And that is a very bad way of looking at life. Where when somebody has done something which is great, you will not even call that person to say, you did that thing very well. It's good. Continue. Expand, grow. What can I do to help you? What can I do to be part of this success? What can I do to become something bigger than this? It's a conscious development, and a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that. That's why you see them always. They are petty. They are small in thinking. You know, they think very little. Why? Because they did not have time, or they did not consciously develop that energy from within to be happy and to be committed to that which somebody else is working on and that which somebody else is building. You saw your friend has produced a music, or your friend has a new contract, or your friend has built a new business, or your friend has passed his exam. And sometimes you even have that thing, and yet you still get disturbed because your friend has succeeded, or that person has succeeded. That is something that you have to look at. It means that the one that you did not even contribute that they succeeded. How about the one that you had to help them? The one that you had to help them to succeed. How would you ever do it? No. And that's why sometimes you go to a lot of these places for documentation, for help, and you see the presence of the negative energy around the people. Why? Because if you don't give them anything, they will not do anything for you. That is a description of a person who will not achieve much in this life. And if you see them with any physical achievement at all, go behind it and see it was cheating, a lie. Why? Because that negative force does not create anything for anybody. So deal with the negativity, deal with the fear, approach life from a strong point. Become the person that people can count on. Become the person that is joyous to see somebody succeed. Become the person at the workplace who is happy to go and look for work for the business, to go and look for sales for the business, to go and look for leads for the business. Not because you say that is not my business, I'm just working for this man, so I come in and put these hours there and they pay me and that's it. I don't have anything to do. You see, when you have that kind of thinking, you will never own anything yourself. You will never own anything yourself. And so don't take that fear that far, Comparison with others, they do that all the time, the negative forces. But a positive person is somebody who has developed himself to look beyond himself to help anything to succeed. So commitment, be committed in helping others to achieve something that is dear to their heart. Become that person of purpose, that person that is able to look beyond what is in for me. If the achievement is for our common goal, I'm ready to support it. If the achievement will help you get a better life, I'm ready to do it. If you ever gave me any help anywhere, I will let you know that you helped me. These are people who have consciously developed that strength, and that's why they are able to handle issues of life. And knowledge, quality knowledge is responsible for this kind of positive outlook. You cannot lift yourself beyond that which they train you with, where you are not ready to help anybody. It's only about yourself. You don't even trust anybody. You don't contribute to anything to succeed unless it's yours. That kind of inclination will make sure that you will never go on in life well. Why? Because nobody is attracted to the negative. So look for that. Look for quality people if you are going to also build any team, any culture in your business at all. Because the more you have the negative people in your business, the more you will not have any results at all. Because they never see anything positive that will work. They are never, you see, most often than not, the people who are seeing all the bad things that the business is going through are the very people who are not doing anything for the business to succeed. Anything that you're doing, you see, anybody who sees all the wrong things about them, they are the very people who will never help you with anything at all. So if you have them in higher percentage, it means that all the time that you are going to have, say you have 10 workers or 20 workers, and 18 are this kind of people. When they come to work, they are waiting for you. When you tell them to do something, you have to keep reminding them before they do it. But when it comes to salary, you are not the one to tell them to work. They were the one to call you. This kind of people, if you see them commit to anything, because it's not that they like commitment. They only commit to that which is dear to their heart. And so the one which is dear to somebody's, they don't show up to do anything to support it. This kind of people, if you have them in higher number in your business, you will always struggle. So you have to consciously create an atmosphere around you, around your business, of people who are positive, people who are optimistic that things can improve, things can work well. These are the kind of people who are very pessimistic and negative. They always have their own agenda. And so you may have them, but if they are in the majority, you are dissipating your energy. You will never going to succeed. Why? Because everything that you do, you will need some other people to come on board and help. And these people, if they are in the higher number, you struggle all your life. So you may change it from your personal level as well. If you are that kind of person who is a bit more negative, you look at things always from the self point of view. If you're not in it, then you will never show up. If it's not going to benefit you, you're not interested. And if they give you anything that you are in charge, they have to keep reminding you, because it's not yours. You could be a manager in a company and your boss would have to be the one reminding you all the time. It means you're a negative person. You have not developed that quality to achieve anything significant, and that's why you will never achieve anything. That is a fact. And some of the people you see shouting, get around them and see their energy level, and you see that they are only committed because it's for them. If it's not for them, they are not. Some people will work with you and they will never go beyond the push that you give them. Why? Because they are not there with you. It's their agenda they are always thinking about all the time. So nothing is going to change until you help yourself to change. You become a positive person. Everything that you need, everything you need is the ability to help yourself to look at life from this positive point. And the team around you, same. And you've got to be patient to develop this kind of positive approach to life, to approach to business, approach to people's achievement. If you don't do these things, you are sleeping. Actually, you are sleeping. If you're that negative, you're sleeping. By the time you wake up, you may be 70 years, because all your life your inclination is the negative. The moment you see them calling, showing up, is hey, something bad has happened. That's why you see them very active. They never are proactive. They are always waiting for the thing to happen and then they show up. Never committed. And they are not grateful at all. Negative people are not grateful at all, because they don't even remember the good things that you did for them. Negative people, they never. And you can see that fake emotions from them. These are people, they are not genuine. So when you are around them, you can see it. But sometimes you may be sleeping because you see one or two elements of it, but you are not conscious, because you think that human beings. No, but the resource that you are getting is linked to the energy level of the team and your energy level as well. So if you're very negative, it means that the people are going to be very negative and you are not going to see results that you need to see. So help yourself to eschew this kind of negative thinking, negative way of looking at life, negative way of treating issues. It doesn't have to be you for it to be important. It doesn't have to be about you for it to work. You develop that kind of thinking, that if it's about me, no matter who is going to help, I am ready to contribute. I am ready to make sure that it works. It doesn't have to be me, or it doesn't have to be my agenda for me to become very optimistic and positive about it. Very few people that you have anything that you're doing, any project that you're doing, that you show them, will show honest commitment to do something to help it to succeed. A lot of people are just this guy is worrying us, and they are the complaining type. And if you don't look for that, especially if you are employing somebody, look for their inclination to positivity. Look, because everybody has that negative inclination. But if you take conscious effort to develop yourself, then you will get some kind of positive outlook of life, where you are a bit optimistic and hopeful about life. If you meet somebody who is that hopeless about life, they are the ones looking for all the reasons that it will not work. And the bottom line is fear. If you put them in charge of anything and there's pressure, they will leave you alone. They will leave you alone because they don't like pain. They don't like struggle. Even sometimes when it is about them and there's pain, they will just give up. So look for people with this kind of people who have lifted themselves beyond this pettiness, beyond this self scenario, if you are going to achieve anything. And if you're going to, because they say that business is about risk, and so if you have developed that thinking, or that person that you are always looking at just that which will not work, just that which isn't for me, just that the self, you will never be able to start anything. And I think that is why people don't take risk at all. That's why people don't try. That's why people then don't dare to do anything at all, because all their lives, anything that they have ever committed to was the one which was only for them. And if you want to start a business, or if you're doing business at all, you will see that you are going to do a lot of things for free, and to appear to even be stupid for it to see before you see the whole thing working. And so if you are the kind, and you see people who are of that much negative force, you see them, they don't forgive. They don't forgive themselves, and they don't even forgive anybody who offends them. They hold on because it's dear to them. The pain is dear to them. And you cannot have this kind of thinking and try anything, because you're going to fail. And if you cannot forgive yourself, you will not go to the next phase, the next one to even try. So the negative, lift yourself above the negative people, the negative force that you have also created in your business, in your own personal life, and get to be a positive person. Deal with negativity, deal with negativity, deal with the fear. And the culture is a lot of people in the culture are very negative, very much negative. If you want, just test it. You just develop anything and just ask people's mind on it. And if they say, tell them that you made this from Ghana, you will see the positive one is from somewhere. You ask them that you are doing it yourself, and you hear all the responses that you will get. Because I don't know why it is like that, but I think a lot of it is just the lack of conscious effort to lift ourselves to the positive. So be positive. Be positive. How you are going to do that is where you build your self-confidence. You build your self-identification. You build yourself as to this is what your life is about. If you're clear of what your life is about, then when the other person needs help, you don't worry whether the help will help. The help that they require from you will help them to succeed or fail. You don't worry, because you know what your life is about. Anything that you're connected to, you are clear of why you are connected to that one. And consciously over time you have built yourself to be constructively positive. Of how you look for the light in that endeavor. You look for the good in that person. You look for the good in that situation. That is how you have programmed your life. And once you program your life that way, then you are never hesitant to help anybody to succeed at all. And you are not in competition or jealous of anybody. And wherever you are, you see that you deliver. Because that is your personality. And that's why people like that always keep on succeeding. Because they built that thinking to be ready. Today somebody called me and he was asking me questions about some of the areas that we have had it very difficult to succeed. I didn't think that I should not give him that information. I just gave him. If that person succeeds, should that mean that I'm failing? No, not at all. Because the time will come, I also need somebody's information in another area that person may also have had a lot of problems. So I will never have difficulty extending a hand to a person, becoming proud, calling somebody to congratulate them of their achievements, of their successes. I don't have problem at all, because somebody's success has nothing to do with my failure. And if anybody helped me anywhere along the line, I'm always eternally grateful. And every now and then I will let them know that the help that they gave me saved me. And you see that positive people are very grateful. Grateful, not competitive. They are not in competition with anybody, and they are ready to help people. And that's why they go, because they have lightweight. That's why they go. No matter the hindrances that come between them and their goals, you see that they keep going. Why? Because they don't carry a lot of load. They are not bitter, and they don't hold on to a lot of bad scenarios. So if you find yourself to be very much always holding on to that which somebody did against you, and you will never forgive them, you will never talk to them again, you are very unkind to them, you will retaliate, you are vindictive, that's an energy that will make sure that you don't go beyond a certain point, you know. And if that energy happens to affect the business that you're doing, you see that you don't have anything at all. So build a light spirit, build a positive personality. Don't depend on people who are always looking for the negative. You work somewhere, be present, be positive, be hopeful, contribute for the place to work. If you have your business, be positive about it, contribute to make sure the business works. This spirit of you wanting somebody to fail, something not to work, so that you say that you are wise, that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go at all. That's not the way to go. And perchance, if you get power or you get into some position, that's the time that you look for those who helped you. That's a sign of somebody who has a good spirit, somebody who has a good personality. That's somebody who is very positive and optimistic and hopeful in people and in situation. You know, but some people they will just put up with you, but once they get the power, they will never even pick your call. Never worry about those people. That's a negative person. You know, and negativity is always negative anyway. It's minus. So you are thinking that they are successful. I am thinking that spirit will not help them to be there for long. And I don't even care if they are there forever. It's their life, and this is my life. So make your disposition, build a conscious life to say that if somebody comes to me, if somebody gets close to me, if somebody is with me, that person will get the best of me. You know, and I'm fully committed to make sure that that person succeeds. That is a conscious development. So lift up your game. You don't have to be that pessimistic and negative, and you don't want others to succeed. If it has to be you, you will not even sign the document. Those are petty. And particularly Africans don't even need that, because we are late anyway. We are late. So if your African brother is succeeding, you should be the one jubilating. You know, but unfortunately, that's why you see a lot of them trying to pull their strength, show you where their power is. But really, they are just negative people, and they don't have that much power. They don't have that much power, because people who win eventually are people who are very optimistic, who are very faithful, who are very hopeful, who see the good in every situation. And so my name is Kwabena. I am talking to you about elevate. That is, be a positive person. And what I'm saying is that, you see, when you were in school, there were some boys who were very good. They were very intelligent. They were always in the library. And if the book was one, they would be the one who would go to the library and hide that book. If the teacher is teaching something that he is the one who only understands it, he will make sure that he only use it to get an edge over everybody in the class. It may have worked in school, but it doesn't work in life. Because in life, for you to succeed, you need people around you. And you need quality people. You know, you need the ability to connect with great minds, the ability to connect with people who also know their game. And so if you, all your life, you grew up with the idea that it has to be you, and you have to hide all the ideas that you have from everybody, nobody with quality will come close to you. So you only get fake people who come around, and you don't have authentic relationship. You don't have authentic mind, you know. And so you have clones, but people who were ready to share, who were ready to win together. That is an attribute of people who are succeeding, people, great people who are building with integrity, with character, because that is the way to go. Because everybody can win, you know. But negative people think that they are the only people who have to win. If you're positive and you have positive outlook of life, you know that everybody has to win, you know, and all of us can win. And that's how it is. So if you see your friend doing well, that's the time to call them and congratulate them. You know, you can't be so busy that you don't even say a Merry Christmas to anybody. No, you're just wasting life, you know. So let people feel good about you. Let people feel positive about you. Let people be their best in your presence. You know, the fear of life, the fear of not succeeding is what cripples people to be that, you know, what is it? They keep it to themselves, you know. No, you don't keep it. You discuss. When people show you good doors, that's where you open up to people. You don't cover everything thinking that you're going to succeed. That spirit does not work. That spirit does not work. So me, I want quality people. I want people who are authentic. I want people who are ambitious. I want people who are creative in thinking, people who are genuine, people who believe in big things. Those are the people that I want to be around. I don't want to be around somebody who is very petty and little thinking, and they even think that when you come around them and you see something that they have, it means that you'll be jealous. I don't have time for those things, I don't have time for you. You have a Range Rover, so I came around you. Don't think that I'll be jealous. No, why should I? Never. So I developed myself not to be that negative of life. No, I want to be positive, and that's why I want to be. If it's in my power to help anybody, I will do it. And if you perchance you hurt me, that was a situation. We can overcome it. So those are the things that you develop, and that's why you have the ability to keep trying and to keep pushing and to keep lifting your goal. Why? Because you have positive outlook of life. So be that positive person. Be optimistic. Practice optimism. You will only see people who appear to be successful if they are very pessimistic and they are very negative. Forget, it's not true. Go beneath it and see there is a lot of shades around. So my name is Kwabena. I am saying that you should be that person that people can happily and readily call you and tell you their successes and never feel like you are not happy for them. Not be that person. Be that person that that is encouraging people to succeed all the time. Have that, because those are the people. That's why people who succeed, big and especially entrepreneurs, because they have positive outlook of life. That's why they are very few. That's why people who take risk are very few. Why? Because a lot of people have been programmed with trivias and negativity. So when it comes to jokes and when it comes to comedy, that's the point that they are all agreeing. When it comes to things that have to do with things that will change destinies and lives, you see them very hesitant and very careful and very negative. They don't even see the good side in you. So you started the business, you saw that the people that you thought would even be there for you turn around not to be there for you, because at a point they started to think of themselves. They never think that you can succeed together. And that's why if you're going to build a great team at all, you look for those kind of people who believe that you can be successful together, can be great together. They have anything they are bringing it on board. They are not trying to compete. They are not trying to compete with you or compete you. And sometimes people who are even married do the same. But what I don't understand is, if this person is your dear friend, this person is your spouse, why are you competing? Then why are you together? Because you only compete with your goal. Both of you are together to hit a target. Yet you have dropped that game from that height, brought it to that level where you are competing with the woman. What for? You don't need that. You don't need that at all. You need to set the goal together and both of you work towards it to achieve it. And those things call for strong, positive outlook, positive energy, strength from within, because it's a derivative of a quality spirit, conscious. You have created something over time, and that spirit that loves people, that spirit in you that welcomes people, that is very present when people, you feel for people, and you don't want to hurt people. That spirit is what I'm talking of, where you're very glad that somebody else is succeeding, and in whatever you have to do to help them, you are ready to help them. And these little things that people do, that is what makes them successful. That is what makes them successful. So you will never meet genuine successful people with without this kind of spirit. Go around and look for all of them. You see that they have positive outlook of life. That's why they keep trying. If you are very negative, you try once, you may not even try the once anyway, because you are so much mobilized by fear, and the pain afterwards. And so people who are very negative, they keep trying to blame every situation. They blame themselves, they blame their friends, their family, why things didn't work. Yet, if they can reconstruct their mind bit by bit to look at issues from a positive side, you see that they can become a whole new person. So when you see your friend succeeding, when you see your friend with a new degree, when you see your friend with a new marriage, when you see your friend doing things that you think they are achievement, that's the time to show your friend true, rare, compassionate love, genuine one. Let people around you feel that you're a very authentic person and you're never disturbed that they have something significant going on for them. Some people, when you call them to tell them something significant about you, that's what they are trying to tell you. No, when somebody calls you to tell you their achievement, that's not the time to also tell them their achievement. Have time to listen and congratulate them. That is an attribute of a strong spirit. That's an attribute of a positive spirit. That's an attribute of somebody who's going somewhere. And so when you exhibit these things, no matter the challenges, you see that you'll be somewhere. Because you have that spirit not to blame anybody and be responsible. You are in charge of your life anyway. You are in charge, and you are the only person who can help yourself anyway. So if you have these attributes, then you can see that you can take risk even, because you have different thinking about life and about everything that works. So consciously start to rebuild your life to be positive. Do you have so many people who are always doing analysis? They call you, I want to start business, I want to start this, but they will do analysis for 5 years. It's not the way to do that. It means that they are full of fear. They've been programmed subconsciously to always be looking at the negative. So never try anything. They know all the mathematics, they know all the financials, they can tell you all the cash issues, but they never start. Why? Because subconsciously they were programmed to be negative. And so the energy to start anything is not there. They may be highly educated, highly skilled, but they don't have the strength. Why? Because all their lives it was only about them. That's the danger of selfishness, because you will never achieve any goal, because it's always about you. And so when it comes to a point that you have to call the shot, you are afraid. And bold people are people who look beyond self to dare, even if they have to fail. So it's programming. You can decide to lift your game, and you should always be happy to contribute to something that somebody else is doing for them to succeed. Always be open. If your friend calls you and they need help, give them that kind of help. Let them know that you have developed. Let them know that you're authentic, you're truthful. If they send you the money to do something for them, let them know that this is the money, this is the change. It's a positive thinking. The reason you are stealing that money from that friend is because you're negative. You think that you will never achieve anything. So your brother sent you the money to build a house for him, and you use it to build yours as well. You're negative. And once you're updated with something negative, you will never succeed. You never succeed. You put that house there, give yourself 5 years. They start to come down, because you set a negative motion in place, so it will never work. So my name is Kwabena. I'm talking about elevate your game. Be a positive person. Have an outlook that is positive. Be ready to see the good in people. Be ready to see the good in yourself. Be committed to a cause higher than yourself, and that's why you are not hesitant to help anybody to succeed. You never. Even if they walk out on you for you helping them, you still have some kind of energy left to help any other person, because that's how you become better anyway. That is how you become better. If you see people who are always succeeding, what they don't tell you is that how many disappointments that they have had, how many losses that they have had, how many pains that they have endured. They never tell you that. You are only seeing the one that they won, and yet this is what you need. So be a person who is very happy, who is very joyous to see another person succeed. And if that person needs your help to succeed, you are ready to contribute and to share the information that you need. And you're always grateful to people who help you, to get where you are. Always you are grateful, and you are not the one going behind destroying people and talking bad about people. People who go behind people talking negative and belittling people in their absence are negative. They're just exhibiting negative force. And you will never see anybody who is trying to build anything significant, who has enough time and enough waste of brain to go around talking about somebody's bad experience or why somebody is not a good person and all that. No. In fact, if you see people who are doing that, check, they don't have that much going on for them. So because your mind is full of ideas when you're positive. Your mind is always full of ideas, not about people's mistakes and people's errors. No, your mind is full of ideas of creation. You are always thinking of creation. The next thing, that's something about positive outlook of life, because you're always getting constant flow of revelation, constant flow of ideas, constant flow of understanding of things, constant flow of understanding of life, because you're positive. Because the positivity opens that mind up, But if you're negative, the negative closes it. Why? Because it's a bad force. So the people, and so when you think positive, really the one you are helping is yourself. Because that's where your revelation starts to increase. That's where your skill starts to develop. That's where you become a better person. That's why you get people to trust you. You see people want to be with you. That's why people call you. That's why people are ready to open doors for you. Because that is infectious. That that is an English word, it can contaminate. It attracts. The positive attracts people of that kind of mind as well. Like minds attract. So you see that you start to get people who also think in this level of or in this kind of realms, So, and be conscious to build people around you who are that negative. And one of the things that you can do for your workers, if they come from this part of the world, is to help them to be positive in looking at life. Help them to be positive. If you don't do that, then you would have done a very bad job, because almost all of them are coming with negative outlook of life. If I'm lying, just try it where you are. When you go to work tomorrow, just try it. Try it. So you consciously would have to tell them the positive and tell them why they should leave the fear, the pessimism, the negative, the unsupportiveness off, and be part of that which works. Consciously you train them. If you don't train them, you will never achieve anything. So you'll never have a great team which is full of fearful people. Never. Who don't dare to do anything for each other, who will not dare to do anything for themselves, and for the common goal of the company. You don't have a team. You don't have a team at all. So create an environment where you have a lot of people who are very much positive of life. Very much positive of life. And say, welcome. You are very much positive of life, So I'm talking about elevate your game. Be a positive person. Be that kind of person who is ready to give a hand. Be that kind of person who is ready to be part of the solutions. Be that kind of person who you are working with a company and you are not waiting to be told what to do for the company to go forward. You are there. You are present. That is a force that you develop at a personal level. But if you are full of negative perspective of life, of everything, then you are always looking for all the bad things that your boss is doing. You are the one who has enough time to go around and tell everybody all the mistakes that have been going on, why the company is not growing well. Because you yourself, you're full of that which does not work. And if you have that kind of tendency, the most dangerous thing is that it only affects your life, because eventually you leave that company anyway, but then you cannot live your own life. So you better consciously build that life that looks at the positive side, that is ready to help people, that is ready to give a hand to people, that is ready to support people, that is happy when others are succeeding. That kind of thinking is what I'm talking of. You're ready. There was a time a friend of mine came to one of our businesses and he said, I didn't know you were doing this. And the man did something that impressed me. He pulled out money and said, listen, I can't come here to just go. So I'm buying this as a support. That's a very good spirit. That's a positive person. That's a positive person. And those are the kind of people who, wherever they go, you see them shining. Why? Because they are glad that another person is succeeding, another person is going on, another person is growing. So this kind of character, if you don't get them, you're not cheating anybody, you are only cheating yourself. Because people who achieve anything move with momentum, move with force. They're able to overcome inertia. And that kind of force is not negative. That kind of force that moves anything, that starts anything, that builds anything, is a positive force. It's a force that goes for growth, that goes for expansion. And that force is not that one which is mistrustful, which is competitive, which is jealous. That's not that kind of force that we are talking about, because that force never achieves anything. Is that force, the positive force, is that force that is cooperative, that is kind, that is forgiving, and that is how great people are built. And they do this consciously. They do this consciously. So if this year is going to be different, you have got to look at life with a positive sense. It's a positive sense. Even in the bad situation, those with positive psyche look at the positiveness in all the situations that they meet. And that's why you do anything that you do with your life. So you deal with the negative. And so welcome. You deal with the negative forces in your life. And all of us, if you come from this part of the world, you've been programmed to be that much skeptical. And that's why people don't take that much risk. And that's why people are that much pessimistic. That's why people are asking you, why is your business doing well? Is it going to work? More than seeing why this business makes sense. So people have been programmed really to be very much conservative, very much not try anything. And that's why the foreigners are trying all the big businesses anyway. And so if you're going to move from this kind of training, this kind of conditioning, to that which sees positivity, you have to do it consciously. That you are the person who is open to try something, to see the good in things, to see the good in people, to see the good in every other thing that works, And you are not the person who is trying to blame everybody for your misfortune. You see that the help is the one. You are really the one to help yourself. And this kind of people are always positive. If you see anybody who is waiting for help from another person, you have seen somebody who is a very negative person, because they get the chance to blame that person if that help does not come. But I am not waiting for anybody to help me. If they do, fantastic. But if they don't do, it's not their duty anyway. It's my life and it's my help that I need, So these are the kind of thinking that you have got to have if you are going to try to build anything this year yourself. If you wait for, sorry, the network is trying to misbehave, but we are fine. I'm wrapping up. So if you're a positive person, you know that you have what it takes, and you know why your life is why it is, and you know there is a reason why your life you were created. You are that positive about your destiny, about your purpose, and that's why when you're helping another person, you don't feel competitive, you don't feel jealous. When your friend is doing something, you have a clean heart to be supportive. You have a clean heart to be present and to share what you have. That is a person that is able to build quality life. That's the person who is able to succeed at anything. So if you don't identify yourself, then you are lost in the negative. The people who are very positive have identified their sense of purpose. They have identified their gifts. They have identified what makes them different from others. They are very comfortable in their nature, in who they are, and that's why they are not in competition with anybody, with another person. And so they are able to take their life one stage to the other, because they understand what success means and what failure means, and if they've been able to find that which they think their life is about in this life, then that itself is a bit more of a success. And so that's why they are not worried. The other person who is moral, who does not know himself, who does not know his gift, those are the people who are always complaining and murmuring and full of negativity. They only put in a little, because they have not identified themselves, they have not developed themselves, they have not taken time to know who they are. And so elevate yourself into that realms, or that realm that you know who you are, you know yourself, and that when your friend, when the other person is going on and you happen to be having tough time, you don't care, because you're comfortable, you have a pattern, you have a strategy, you have a plan. And that's why when you are working in a company, you are ready to help the company to succeed. And your commitment is not only when it was just about you and your agenda. Your commitment is into the vision of the place that you are. So my name is Obin Dalko. I'm talking about that force that will elevate you, being positive of life, being that kind of person who is able to appreciate people, thank people, help people, know who you are, be committed to the success of others, be jubilant about what others are doing. That kind of person. Be a positive. See positivity in any endeavor. Those kind of people I'm talking of. Not the ones who are seeing why it will never work. Those people are so many. That's why we have very few people starting anything and succeeding. Because for you to start anything to succeed, you have got to be optimistic that it will work. If you're negative, why would you even want to succeed? Because then you will never see anything. Your fear will be so high that you will never dare to start anything at all. And negative people are the ones, when they are hit, they never get back up, because they are so negative that they can never accept why they lost. And I think the programming is coming from the family, it's coming from the school, it's coming from the community, it's coming from the culture. There's a lot of fear from the family, because if you don't pass the exam, they create fear. The only reason why you were studying is because you didn't want to fail in this life. Or you didn't want to fail the exam. I think you should pass the exam because you want to prove that you have studied, not because you don't want to fail. Because the moment you don't want to fail, if you even had A, the foundation of that A was fear, and so they have programmed you wrongly. So you're just approaching it from a negative point. But I think that you can also have the A when you know that, let's have studied this subject, so I deserve the A. It's different from I don't want to fail. I don't want to come out of school. I don't have a job. So then some of my friends in secondary school, the guy will even take bucket and put water in it so that he could learn. He was driven by not failing the exam. And they carry the same thing in this life. So they had the note, they will hide it from everybody. They had the formula, they will never share with anybody. That's a bad inclination to have. And so when you come out of life and start anything, you still think that you're competing with everybody. Yet in life, you only succeed by the quality of the team skill, the leadership skill that you have. So if you wanted everything only for yourself, you will struggle all your life, no matter what you start. Because you will not be able to achieve anything all by yourself. You need the quality in that person, you need the quality in that person, you need the quality in that person, you need the quality in that person. Yet you believe that you are the only one who has quality. If you believe that, then you will never have a team that is able to help you to succeed. You will never have friends that are very organic, original, authentic, that can tell you good things to help you. Why? Because everything was for yourself. And the bottom line was fear. And so people with that kind of understanding of life, no matter what they become, you see that they fail. They fail. They can even become the president and they will fail. Why? Because a successful president is only successful because of the kind of people around him, the quality of people around him. So the same with your business. Your business is going to succeed because of your ability to identify quality people to build the business. And so if you are more of a negative person, you will never see good people. Negative people never see good people because they never see anything good anyway in anybody. And that's a bad skill to have. The largest thing. Of course, negativity is in all of us, but I think the percentages should be, if you're going to succeed, the percentage of negativity, being paranoid, should be very little, not that much. Especially if you are the originator of the idea, you have to have a little negativity for you to try. If you have a lot of the negative 90%, you will never try. But maybe if you have the positive 90%, and then maybe you will try. And maybe your team can have maybe 50% negative, 50% positive, so that they can match it a little bit. But if you're the one to push the idea and to build it, you have got to be positive. And that positivity is what drives the team. That's what inspires the team. That's what even inspires you as well. That's why you keep going. That's why you keep going, because that is the energy that you need. If you don't have that, all the problems will kill you. So my name is Obindako. I'm getting close to the end, and so I'm trying to wrap up. I'm talking about elevate your game and be a positive person. Be the kind of person who has the quality that everybody is looking for. Quality. You see the value in people, you see the good in people, you see the talent in people, you see the talent in yourself. You are happy to contribute to the success of people. You are happy to share that which works with people. You are happy to give in the extra mile wherever you work. You are dependable. You are trustworthy. You're just an encourager. You are somebody who is kind. That kind of person is what people are looking for. Don't be that kind of person who has worked in the company for 5 years, for 10 years, and you didn't show anything significant. You were only told, you only did what you were told to do. When you leave, nobody will ever remember you. As a matter of fact, they would want you to leave. Why? Because it didn't bring anything. You didn't change anything. The negatives don't change anything significantly for the growth of the business, for the growth of the country. The positive, those who are ambitious, those who are optimistic, those are the ones who cause change. And so if you are going to be so if you are going to be anything, then that's something that you need in this year, to be positive. I'm not talking of religious. I'm saying be positive. Those who are positive, whether they are religious or they are not religious, they are the ones trying ideas. A lot of people have achieved a lot of things in this life just because they were positive. Positivity. You can be very religious and very, very negative. Nobody wants to work with you. Nobody wants to come around you. You're very fearful. You're very negative. You see all the bad things why it won't work. No matter how much you pray, if you don't solve that one, nothing is going to work. Nothing is going to work. Why? Because nobody wants to hear all the things, all the complaints, all the mistakes, all their weakness. Nobody wants that. So the guy who is not religious, but who is very positive of life, very optimistic, will change his life than the one who is just praying. In this life, people have a lot of wealth more than the ones who are praying. People have built a lot of companies more than the ones who are praying. Why? Because the ones who are praying are trying to cast the demon out before they start. And you're trying to cast the demon out. That's a negative force. Before you start your business. Wow. You start anyway. There's no need demon anyway. So that's why people who are not religious are able to do a lot. Because they are not looking for any demon anyway. They just go. They start. If they hate, they go for the data. They go for the facts. They check why it didn't work. And they go again. If they hate, they are not blaming anybody. They are not blaming the demon. They are not blaming the devil. They are not blaming Satan. Nobody. They go again. And they try again. And they go again. Why? Because of that positive force in them. They look at life that everything is possible. That's how they look at life. That's why they succeed. That's why those people continue to succeed. They believe doing the impossible. They believe that. Yet the other ones who are very religious, they start why it doesn't really declare 10-day fasting. Then they declare another fasting. It doesn't work, doesn't work. I might say don't fast. I'm not a pastor, so I can't say anything. But I'm just saying that you have to have that positive outlook of things. And if you start anything and it's not working, it's yourself. The energy that you're pushing there is weak. Get more positive energy there. and continue to push, and you see that it will work. There's somewhere Jesus said that he can do the impossible. He said that. He said, with me, he can do the impossible. Nothing is impossible with him. So if you have him, then why are you afraid of trying? Why are you afraid of daring? Why are you afraid of going forward? If it's not working and it's with you, it means that he said that will work. So just keep on trying, and you become positive and look at the right data all the time. If you are like that, nothing can stop you. So deal with the negativity from the culture, from the family, from the school that they have given you. A lot of people are very much well educated, are very much fearful of everything. It makes the education useless. Because the guy with no education who is courageous will beat you. Beat you. Because the courage makes them positive. So they don't care. But they are ones who have gone to school very much afraid of everything. Everything. That's why they don't start anything. Because if you are going to start something, you have got to be positive. At least. Positive, optimistic, hopeful, faithful. You have faith, you have hope. That what you have started will work no matter what. That which we want to build will work no matter what. That's a quality disposition. There's a quality one. If you don't have that this year, then you must as well stop. Especially if it's your first business that you want to start. You might as well stop. Because if you're negative, it's not going to work. So don't be that negative. Be pessimistic when it has to do with starting something with your life. With your business, with helping people, with trying anything, with pursuing your goals. Be positive and go for them. It doesn't mean that you are stupid. You study the pattern, but you're hopeful. You look for the good in people. So thank you today for watching. My name is Kwabena. Thank you very much. Network was not that good, but we are positive. So thank you for watching. Thank you very much.